Um, Interesting-ish hour, I guess. We redrew the channel as it started to reform here. Initially, I think we had it kind of like this, and then it broke out, so we were like, it's not a thing, but it seems to still be in effect. Spike channel. Clearly, this is such a still tight and strong trading range that any buys in this region have been pretty much immediately liquidated. And kind of the same for bears, but not really. Only just because right now we're kind of doing this when we tried to break out. But these bears were pretty decently strong, had a weak pullback, and then put some more work in. So if we're not in this little channel that may end up kind of reversing, like channel and then up, it's very possible that we're just building a base to go down further. So I think still have to be careful here. On the 15-minute chart, pairs are just putting in candle after candle after candle of marching. So bulls really need to close under, or really need to breach this high, 60,730. If they can do that, then there may be some sort of reversal in the coming, like it would be like this double bottom and then reversal. But if we start like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 strong. I mean, it's not strong, but it's like a quiet strength here. This is an outside bar of this, and it broke to the downside. So probably entries were here, exits were here, probably should be a reasonable number of stops kind of above this area. For anybody that like maybe will have shorted on the break of it. This kind of situation. So bulls really want to come for that. So this is a little bit important. If these bulls can break above this thing, we're back into the range. It doesn't mean that we're escaping the range, but it means that it doesn't mean that we're escaping the range to the upside, but it means that for now anyway, we're not going to be escaping the range to the downside. And maybe we just continue to do work within the channel. The problem is that since we're within a channel that's getting clearer and clearer by the minute, there are going to be fewer and fewer bulls willing to buy this region being the top of the channel. This is a decent, I mean, this is a nice looking reversal though here, right? So maybe we just have some green Chad candles like up here kind of thing next, coming soon. A little bit tough to say, but this is definitely, certainly there's no momentum in this region. Bears don't have momentum. Bulls definitely don't have any momentum. So they're really just kind of hoping that we can reverse here. But the thing is, we're really not reversing anything with this, with these two candles. Really not reversing anything because who is getting, like only people who are selling in this area, like selling below this low, getting too eager, which like we said in the last one, you kind of don't want to be selling just below this low because we're in a pretty tight trading range, and we could just come right back into the range at pretty much any time. So reversing this candle, which hasn't even happened yet, but if it does happen, is not trapping really anybody. Everybody that entered on this candle, on this candle, on this candle, still not quite trapped. I guess these wicks are trapped, but anybody that's entered over here is going to have their stop probably here or here kind of thing, maybe above this candle. So I don't expect there to be any sort of liquidity base or that comes from liquidating shorts, late shorts. I wouldn't say this is a late short liquidity run necessarily. Let's look at the hourly. This broke down a little bit more. Bulls really would ideally like to see a rounding kind of thing and coming back up here. Could be happening right now. Bears obviously would like to breach this low and continue their push down to like this region or so, or at least this region. So we'll keep an eye on that. The 4-hour outlook is not looking good for bulls. I mean, obviously after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like we said, bulls would definitely want to close above this open at 61,360. I don't really see that as a realistic possibility on this candle that's all the way up here. We have to reverse these two candles on this one candle. I guess it could happen, but I don't like it, and I don't like the look of it on the lower time frames. It just doesn't seem so reasonable. And now we have this kind of trend line that's developing. So we have to not only disrespect it and invalidate this trend line, we have to come and retest it theoretically. Maybe you don't retest all the way down here. Maybe you just get kind of like a pump up here and then retest the top of this trading range and then go. All would have to happen very quickly though in order to get that 4-hour candle to print green. So I'm not expecting this 4-hour candle to print green. I am expecting this outside up bar to remain green though. And the higher that we can close, the better it is for bulls. But I think there's a very reasonable chance that the next, like even if we do close this outside up, that the next bar is kind of like an inside bar in this area, maybe a red inside bar. And possibly continuing within this channel. We'll see. But for now, still looking for some resolution here is mainly what we want.